What if a small group of people alive today carry something that shouldn't exist? Something modern science still can't fully explain, a blood type that doesn't follow the rules. Something so rare and so old that it might predate recorded history. What if this blood is not just a medical detail, but a biological echo from another kind of human? One that walked Europe tens of thousands of years ago and vanished. Or did they really disappear? And if this trait survived, who carried it forward? Why did it concentrate in one isolated corner of Europe? And what does that say about who we really are? Human history often feels settled, written in textbooks, mapped by timelines, explained through migrations and artifacts. Yet beneath that familiar story, there are anomalies. Quiet details that refuse to fit neatly into the narrative. And one of the most intriguing of these anomalies flows through human veins, Rh-negative blood. Unlike most biological traits, this blood type does not appear to be a simple variation. It lacks a protein that the overwhelming majority of humanity carries, a missing marker that raises a fundamental question. Absence from what? And why does this absence cluster so strongly in specific populations, especially among the Basque people of northern Spain and southwestern France, a population already famous for its linguistic and genetic isolation? Long before borders, nations, or even written language existed, the ancestors of the Basques were already there, living, surviving, adapting while waves of new peoples passed around them and through them, yet never fully replacing them. Genetic studies reveal that the Basques show unusually high continuity with Europe's ancient Western hunter-gatherers, populations that lived in the continent during the Paleolithic era. This continuity suggests not merely survival, but insulation from later migrations, especially those associated with Indo-European expansions. While much of Europe was reshaped genetically, the Basques remained comparatively untouched, preserving a biological archive of deep time. And within this archive appears an unusually high frequency of Rh-negative blood, far higher than the global average, and higher than most neighboring populations. This concentration alone does not prove an extraordinary origin, but it does demand explanation. The Rh factor itself, discovered in the 20th century, is not ancient knowledge, but its biological reality is old. Older than civilization, older than agriculture, older even than Homo sapiens as a species. The absence of the Rhd antigen is not inherently harmful, yet it introduces complexities, especially during pregnancy, suggesting that if it persisted through evolutionary time, it must have either been neutral or beneficial under certain conditions. And this is where speculation begins, not fantasy, but informed hypothesis rooted in evolutionary biology and paleogenetics. Neanderthals inhabited Europe for hundreds of thousands of years, adapting to harsh Ice Age environments, developing robust physiques, unique immune responses, and genetic traits that modern humans later inherited through interbreeding. Today, non-African populations carry between 1% and 2% Neanderthal DNA, influencing everything from skin pigmentation to immune system behavior. Yet, despite extensive genomic research, no direct smoking gun links Neanderthals specifically to Rh-negative blood. But absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Ancient DNA is fragmentary, incomplete, and biased toward survival conditions that preserve bone and genetic material. And the Rh gene region itself is complex, making definitive conclusions difficult. Still, the hypothesis persists because it aligns with patterns. The highest frequencies of Rh-negative blood appear in Europe, particularly in regions associated with deep Paleolithic continuity and isolation. Genetic drift provides another powerful explanation. During the last glacial maximum, much of Europe became uninhabitable, forcing human populations into southern refuges, including the Iberian Peninsula. Isolated groups shrank, bottlenecked, and survived together for thousands of years. In such conditions, rare traits can become common, not through advantage, but through chance. When the ice retreated, these populations expanded outward, carrying their unique genetic signatures with them. But nowhere was that signature preserved more clearly than among the Basques, who remained endogamous, culturally and geographically, reinforcing continuity across millennia. There is also the question of immunity. Some studies suggest subtle differences in immune response among Rh-negative individuals, though findings remain inconclusive. In prehistoric environments where survival depended on resistance to cold, pathogens, and environmental stress, even small advantages could determine persistence. If such traits existed among Neanderthals or early modern humans in Ice Age Europe, they may have endured long enough to imprint themselves onto future populations. Yet the mystery deepens when language enters the picture. Euskara, the Basque language, stands alone, unrelated to any known language family. Its survival mirrors the genetic story, an island of continuity in a sea of change. While language alone cannot prove biological descent, the parallel persistence of both cultural and genetic isolation strengthens the case that the Basques are not merely a modern ethnic group, but a living bridge to prehistoric Europe. This does not mean the Basques are Neanderthals, or that our H-negative blood is alien or supernatural. Those claims drift into fiction rather than science. But it does suggest that human history is layered, more complex than linear narratives allow. Our bodies carry remnants of ancient encounters, population crashes, adaptations, and survival strategies, written not in words, but in proteins, genes, and absence itself. H-negative blood remains one of those absences, a missing piece that refuses to be ignored, whether it arose independently through mutation or drift, or was inherited through ancient interbreeding. It tells a story of endurance of small groups, surviving against climatic catastrophe, of traits persisting against statistical odds, and of history encoded in flesh long before memory and myth. And perhaps the most unsettling realization is this: the more we study human genetics, the clearer it becomes that the past is not behind us. It is within us, circulating silently, shaping who we are, and reminding us that modern humanity is not a clean break from what came before, but a mosaic assembled from survivors, some known, some forgotten, and some still whispering through our blood.